The civil rights movement wasn't successful because of black people. It was because of Jews, Jewish funding, Jewish donations, Jewish lawyers, Jewish activists. Black people did not have the capital, nor did we have the leadership skills in order to pull something like this off. Jews took the opportunity, like they've done with many mass movements throughout history, to use blacks as a weapon, a pawn against white people. Jews sold blacks a lie, that the Jewish struggle and the black struggle are one and the same. They most certainly are not and never have been. Jews still tell black people this lie today. CEO of the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, has extensively talked about the black and Jewish struggle against white supremacy and how both communities are tied together. This comes from an organization that started in defense of a Jew that lied on a black man saying that he had raped the white woman and murdered her when it was really the Jew who did it. The civil rights movement was the greatest setback for black people in this country. Everything that has come out of it has been a disaster for black people and this country.
Andre Williams, I listened to your argument. You said the civil rights movement was a failure. You said it was the biggest setback for black Americans. You said black people lack capital, funding, and leadership. And you said Jewish people weaponized the movement and used us as pawns. Let's deal with real history. Before the 1960s, black Americans could not freely register to vote in large parts of the Deep South. Poll taxes and literacy tests were designed specifically to block us. We could not drink from the same water fountains. We could not eat at restaurants. We could not use certain restrooms, bro. We were denied housing based purely on race. Then came the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed segregation in public spaces and banned job discrimination. Then the Voting Rights Act of 1965 protected black voting rights, dismantled those racist tactics like literacy tests. That's not a setback. That's dismantling legalized apartheid in America. Let's talk about leadership. This movement was led by black leaders: Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Ella Baker, Fannie Lou Hamer, black churches, black colleges, and grassroots black communities, funding and organized much of the movement. Organizations like the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee were black-led. To say we had no leadership is not analysis. It erased black agency. Now let's address the pawn claim, bro. Yes, Jewish Americans supported civil rights. They supported the civil rights movement. It's documented. Some marched, some donated, and some worked as lawyers. But solidarity is not control. Black Americans fighting segregation because it directly oppresses us. We didn't need to be used for equal protection under the law. Saying Jews weaponized the movement is a conspiracy narrative. There is no credible evidence that Jewish American organization controlled black leadership or orchestrated the civil rights movements. Now, about the ADL. The organization was founded after the lynching of Leo Frank, who was accused of murdering Mary Fagan. He was convicted, his sentence was commuted, and he was later lynched by a mob. And this brother was a Jew. He was not a black man. Now, are black and Jew struggle identical? No. Black Americans endured slavery. They endured Jim Crow and racial caste laws. Jewish Americans faced anti-Semitism, quotas, discrimination, and violence. The experiences are different, but both involve discrimination. Recognizing overlapping is not saying the struggles are identical. It's acknowledging history. Andre, you want to debate policy outcomes after the 1960s? Do that. If you want to criticize the government, do that. Economic policy or crime legislation, that's a real discussion. But calling the civil rights movements a disaster and blaming another minority group for it ignores documented history Ending legalized segregation was not a setback, it was a foundation. Understand this, black Americans did not need to be tricked in fighting for our own dignity. We didn't need to be weaponized to want to vote. We didn't need to be manipulated to want equal protection under the law. We didn't need a conspiracy to want our children to drink clean water from the same fountains. The civil rights movement was not a disaster. It was a declaration that black Americans are full citizens. You can debate what will happen. After you can criticize policies, you can question outcomes, but don't erase the sacrifice of our leaders. Don't erase the leadership that cannot be replaced. Documented history with conspiracy. You can't replace documented history with conspiracy. History is stronger than narrative. So don't play with our leaders, man. And Andre Williams, I'm not disrespecting you, bro, but stop shitting on the civil rights movement. Stop shitting on our leaders' name. Stop playing the game that they want you to play.